Hey, let's get a Rage 4 Roman Post here with the big tier list of every unit to exist in One Piece Bounty Rush. This is going to be who is of the current, as of 3.5 anniversary, who is on top and who is not good. Now keep in mind, there are numerous different tiers that exist in the game. So I'm going to go over those. Now, your lowest is kind of generally going to be the free unit. You'll notice as you see, so we have like someone like Capone Veg here. We have the free unit is about a 3-star. They're not very strong. It goes, obviously you have 2 3-stars, and then you have 4 stars, and then you have like EX levels, which are like kind of advanced 4 stars per se. Then you have these basic 4 stars. These are basically step-up units, which were a little easier to get, but they're like a little less than what's per se a Bounty Fest or a EX unit. And then we also have a Bounty Fest unit, which is kind of a little bit better. They kind of have a little more trace. They're a little bit stronger than what's a step-up. So if you just see 4-star, this is kind of like medium. So you have free, it's kind of like the weakest. You have 4-star, which is just kind of like your medium level, and then you have Bounty Fest, which is like, I'm not going to say hard level, I don't know, but you're kind of like more advanced level. And then you have an EX unit, which is basically your higher tier, like basically nasty level, disgustingly strong. And then we kind of have 2 one-off tiers per se. We have a Cola unit, which is kind of more the equivalent of a step up, I would say. So kind of just more basic 4-star like this, but we do have these Cola units. There are a few Cola units in there. And then we have they're considered much more rare because they only come around the special event times. We've only had them once before. And then I think it's been literally 2 years later, we finally got them back again. So the original first one was Douglas Bullet. And now recently we got like this Boa Hancock, this Shiki, because this is Stampede Boa. We had Strong World, Shiki, and then Film Gold, Tesoro. And then obviously we have Zephyr is kind of a film unit, but he's also an EX unit, so I'm interested to see how they do his reruns. And then they have Uta and then Beckman as well. So just keep in mind that there are the different tiers. Obviously I will have this put up in front of my face right now as I'm seeing it, so you can kind of see from like the kind of the weakest to strongest, and then you have like the extracurricular topic. So let's dive in. Let's start ranking these kids. We have SSS the best. We have SS Plus is going to be kind of second tier. Now these are going to be literally pure meta. This is literally what's going to be completely played in the meta at this current point in time, and what's completely playable and you can get plenty of wins on. SS Plus is going to be kind of like fairly strong, can still play, but may not be as strong as these units up here. SS is going to be kind of like, you can get some wins on them. They're kind of like getting more medium level. You'll get some wins, you'll get some losses, blah blah blah. A's where they started kind of to get like a little weaker, like you may have like a 30-40% win rate, but kind of below average. And then B is starting to get just bad, and then C is like literally basically unplayable. So on the unplayable ones I probably won't talk too much on, but we'll speed run through that and go through that as we go. I will try to keep them from left to right is kind of highest, so left will be kind of stronger than the right side. Now it's very like small scale, so if you choose to rank them differently, that's fine too. Anyways, let's start off. So we have Bounty Fest, Blue Ace, Blue Attacker Ace. He's not good. He's not good. Don't play that. Don't play that. Cola Ace. He's actually Red Attacker, I believe this one is. Not good. Not good. These are very old units. The older the unit, generally there's a lot of power creep in this game. It's actually insanely disgusting, so watch out for that. So Cola Red Ace, no, not it. Arco, I'm gonna go with, he might actually be fairly decent against Shanks because he actually has a fair amount of damage reduction. That is a possibility. The problem is he actually lacks a lot of damage, and Shanks does have ignore damage reduction as well. So, and he is blue, so he's a blue. This is, I call him Arco. Some people, or no. Oh wait, I have the wrong. No, this is Arco. Okay, this is Marineford Ace. Sorry, I literally mixed them up. Okay, so I'm thinking of this kid here. This is the Green Runner Ace. You can get some things on him. You can run flags. You don't really do that much damage anymore. This is Green Runner, by the way. Green Runner Ace is with this one. They look very similar. Sorry, I mixed that up. So these two are this Ace a little weaker. Honestly, I might put him in B tier. I'm probably going to put him in B tier for now. We'll see what happens. You won't get too many wins with him, but it's all right. Now, the Mace. This is literally Mace, Arco, whichever you choose. This is basically Ace with the dual unit with Marco. So this one's actually really good. He creates a wall that protects him and also heals him as well. Maybe useful against Shanks. Shanks might also just one-shot the wall and then just kill Arco. It's entirely possible. I'm going to throw him here for now because I haven't tested him out too much yet because Shanks is brand new, but I do know how nasty Shanks is. So in general, he probably sits out here. You'll probably get some good wins. Like, he's definitely still like playable for sure. Roger can be a problem just because like all the green attackers can be an issue once they get their attack buffs stacked up and can be disgusting. Bounty Fest, Red Akainu, extremely old unit. I'm not even going to worry about ranking these. These are basically just all unplayable. I would not recommend playing them. You're going to get your cheese clap. You may go into a game and be lucky to get a kill, but you're not going to be like thriving by any means in the meta. Aokiji, kind of on the weaker side. I think this A tier kind of fits him. Some of you may fight to put him here. He did just get buffed recently. There's too many knockbacks in the game for him to use his skill 1 and his skills. His skill 2 is kind of just slower. So he either just has one skill that's slow, or he has one that he's just too vulnerable in and can't really like dodge in the middle of. So he's kind of just sits right there. Apu, step up. Fairly weak. He is a runner, so that's the only reason why I'm willing to put him here. He's a green runner. He's kind of fine. I wouldn't say he's entirely impossible to play in C tier, but he can do some things. Arlong, unplayable. Would not recommend playing at all. Ashura Doji, I'm going to put him in this tier. Probably the runners are more playable. He's probably better than Apu, though. Doji, he has a little bit of damage reduction. His heal is too slow. It's too weak, per se, and so there's too much damage for that heal to keep up. It's a passive heal that heals him every 3 to 5 seconds for like 5% of his HP or 3% of his HP. It's very terrible. It takes way too long. You just will hardly notice the heal in the middle of a fight because the basic attacks, each person's basic attack does like 20% of your HP. So all I have to do is like auto you like 3 times in a matter of like 1.5 seconds, and your heal's not going to compete with that. It's just not going to work. Bounty Fest Whitebeard was decently playable. He's probably going to be at the bottom of this tier, if not here. Honestly, he's probably here. There's people like Akainu destroy him. Honestly, someone like Doflamingo can destroy him. Uta destroys him. Actually, I'm putting him down here. There's too many people that actually destroy him. He got shafted. He should have been an EX and should have given him more traits, but they didn't, and it's truly unfortunate, but it is what it is. Red Whitebeard, I'll actually throw him here. He was actually a monster in his time when he was first released in the first year of the game, but once EXs became a thing, honestly, once a lot of other units just became a thing, he's going to go at the bottom of this. He might be just unplayable. I would not actually, I don't know, he'll go at the top of unplayable if that really matters. Bartolomeo, unplayable. Literally, don't play that. Don't play that. He's not playable at all. Poor guy. He creates a barrier, and the barrier like doesn't even hit like anything or ranged, or like it's terrible. It's support is what he's like decently good for, and that's it. Same with the Whitebeard. Bellamy, I almost called him Bartolomeo again. Bellamy, 3-star. He was actually a really fun unit. I was so happy that they added Bellamy just because I really liked him. I'm kind of waiting for a V2. Hopefully we get a V2 Bellamy. I actually do like him a lot, even though he's kind of a cringy character. But in general, not very useful. Would not recommend. Big Mom. EX Big Mom. I'm going to have to put her at the bottom of this. She might just be A tier, to be honest. I might go A tier. She's fairly weaker. Everyone has immunity to status effects. Everyone's playing EX Luffy before Shanks. I mean, now there's Shanks. So Shanks can actually get zapped. No, he can't even get zapped because of his immunity status effects. So, now, just kidding. No, she's terrible now. She's not aged well because status effect was like entirely what she relies on. And since there's so many Luffys who can't be zapped and so many units that can't be electrocuted, basically. So she is just left rendered just being terrible. The real EX Big Mom. I'm joking. This is a meme. There's a hacker out there that uses green Big Mom and just spams zap, and it zaps everyone on the field because it's a hack. And no, I'm gonna place her down here. Yeah, she's down here. She's like, you may be able to score a couple wins with her, but in general, you're just not going to be very strong. Especially since Shanks has more damage reduction. Yeah, that's not happening. She's kind of terrible. Blackbeard. There's just nothing that's going to destroy this EX Shanks. Oh my god, he's a red defender, so he's in better shape. It's close. He's actually pretty close with this Prime Beard. I'm maybe going to put him above just because he's an EX, and he does have that EX hyper boost that heals his whole team. So that's one of the biggest things that he has. It basically gives you half your HP bar back on once you hit team boost. So really useful. He's also very strong against Devil Fruit users. In general, he's pretty, like, can actually get some kills against the Devil Fruit users. If they're not a Devil Fruit user, he's not going to do much damage. So just keep that in mind. He was the very first EX level champion that we got, and he was kind of insane. Boa Hancock. Blue Boa Hancock, blue attacker. She is awful in the term that like she's locked into her basic attacks. Also, so many Luffys, so many people that have immunity to status effects. Her whole kit is based off status effecting, so since she can't, these two get destroyed by that because they can't status effect. Means they can't do anything, so they're rendered useless. If she petrifies, obviously she turns them to stone. Oh, time to wake up. She turns them to stone, so it's just something to keep note of. Red Boa Hancock. Oh my god, I love this. She actually was decent for her time. Terrible now. Don't play. This is 4-star green attacker Bon Clay. We love Bon-chan. Love Bon-chan so much, but terrible. He can't be played right now. You're just going to walk out and die. Bonnie. Still terrible. 3-star. The thing is, she basically is a nothing version of Miss Golden Week. Miss Golden Week is in this game. They both turn invincible, but the thing is, when Bonnie turns invincible, she literally can't do anything. All she can do is just be invincible. So it's literally just to kind of like protect on the flag, and she turns invisible on the map. But like, that isn't saving her. So, in general, no, don't play it. Kizaru, the most shafted admiral in all of One Piece Bounty Rush, has yet to get a good version. Like, at least Kuzan has this version, even though this version's not great. It's still, like, yeah, it's terrible. So don't use that. He was never even, like, shining. He was good for his teleport across, like, bridges and stuff, and that was it. 4-star Brook. No, this is gonna go basically down. Unplayable. Don't play the time skip Straw Hats. You'll keep pulling them a lot, and it's not gonna work. Buggy, I'll throw in this tier. You may be able to pick up a kill or two, maybe able to pick up some wins, but in general, not doing the greatest. Douglas Bullet. I'm interested to see how he performs with Shanks in the meta. He's probably not going to be shining because the damage reduction. I'll put him at the bottom because after the post buffs, when he's not fighting as Shanks, he's kind of still decent. Obviously, any of the other green EXs will probably smack him around pretty hard. But if he's fighting other color, he does pretty decent. He's actually pretty okay. So like his damage reduction is insane. He's very tanky. He actually does a lot of damage. You can get a lot of skill 1 cooldown, and if you keep skill 1 cooldowning, he'll just keep smacking people and reducing their attack, which is insane. And it's a very quick skill and very easy to land. So Douglas Bullet, decent, pretty decent. Or like pretty solid unit. Caesar Clown was good for his time. Honestly, he can still kind of wither people away with his poison, but it's just so low and so slow. So like, and it is percentile. So certain units like Yamato and Sugar don't get affected by that. So honestly, throw it down here. He's just way too kind of weak now. Bedge, he was kind of useful for boss battle. He was useful for boss battle. There's just so many better options now. So really, there's no purpose to ever use him besides support. Cabbage, honestly, unplayable. If you're stunning people, you're going to stun Roger. Shanks can't be stunned. Other people are immune. You may be able to stun Odin and maybe do a little damage, but you're not going to kill Odin. His kit was like a fail from day one. That was a hard L. Time skip Chopper, not very good anymore. He was a monster for his time, but not very good anymore. Arm point Chopper, please don't play that. Snow point Chopper was maybe able to pick up wins, but not very good. He can actually surprisingly do like a surprising amount of damage. Like, you'll be shocked, but in general, not really. Nin, I'll put Nin at the bottom. He kind of has heals. He can be kind of annoying because he is red for certain units that would kill him. And he just kind of can bully, not like bully, but he just is an annoyance. So he can be, you may be able to pick up a few wins. He's not great though, he's not shiny. Corazon can invisible his team. I would say he can go up here. You can potentially get a few wins. He can make his whole team go invisible on the minimap, so the enemy team cannot see any of your team, which is kind of interesting. But overall, fighting for himself, he can't really do that. You need to basically play with allies, and if your allies die, well, you're just a sitting duck and you're not going to defend anything. Crocodile. On specific maps, he can be here. Otherwise, when he's fighting by himself, he's not going to be shining too much. I love Crocodile. This Crocodile, he feels very smooth to play. I really do love him as a unit, but he just cannot fight for his own to save his life, unfortunately. This is a green Defender Crocodile. This is a Cola unit. Was never that good. Abilities are slow. This is the very first Crocodile OG since day one of the game. This is a blue Defender Crocodile. Technically could be useful because he can hit for 60% of anyone's HP, guaranteed. So he could kind of technically shred people. It's their current HP, by the way. So if their max health will take 60%, but if they're lower than that, then obviously it'll be like lesser. But yeah, in general, don't play them. Doflamingo was an extreme. This is Red Runner Doflamingo. I need to emphasize that. There are two different forms of Doflamingo. This is Red Runner Doflamingo. Very monstrous for his time. Currently, not good at all. Generally wouldn't recommend. I mean, they did buff him, so honestly, I'll put him at the bottom here. You might be able to pick up a few wins with him because I've actually seen kind of some people You can run around and be obnoxious, and you are technically like invincible when you go up in your skill 1 and like run around. Anel, again, might be able to hold a few things. Shanks, actually, no, he's blue. Shanks is the thing. No, don't play that. Don't play that Anel. Don't play this Anel. Actually, I mean, this one's not completely unplayable, but this one is. Don't play this at all. I would not recommend. Time skip Straw Hats, just gonna throw that there. This free Frankie, you're just gonna get bullied eventually. You're not gonna do much. You're just gonna get one shot. These 3 stars, these free units don't have stats. They have very low stats. Their abilities are not crazy, and they have very low amount of traits as well. So like their damage reductions, their damage increases are very low as well. Fujitora, I wish was better. He was always like kind of decent since day 1. He could be a Giga Tank at one point in life, but in general he kind of fell off. All right, now we have Young Garp. The Young Garp, interesting. Homeboy was the Roger counter. The problem was he was kind of like only a Roger counter, and he's only kind of strong when he's on his flag. When he steps off his flag, he's really not that useful. So watch out. He was actually very fun for his time just because it was nice not getting one shot by Roger, and it was fantastic. But overall, kind of terrible unit. Now I would not recommend using him. It's not good. Free Garp, just maybe for support. Green Defender Garp, I don't use it. Basil Hawkins was a complete fail since day 1. I want a real good version of him, and hopefully we get a Bounty Fest version. For some reason, the free unit was the only one we gave him. I don't know why. Not only the manga and anime, but literally the game has shafted him both, and I don't know why. They just decided to shaft him for whatever reason. Hina Swan actually was playable for her time. Not very good now. Eva-chan, you may be able to pick up some wins. Can pick up some things. He's got a revive. He can remove stat buffs, which is fantastic. If they can be status affected, that's the problem. So what he does inflict is a status effect. So unfortunately, if they're immune to status effects, then he can't do anything. And there's a lot of people that are immune to status effects. Bounty Fest, Blue Attacker Jinbei actually has insane amounts of damage against Devil Fruit users. So if you do hit people, you can do some things. I would place these 2 above here. But in general, yeah, you don't have heals, so that's your problem. You don't have heals, and you're actually not that tanky. So if he had something to be tankier, it would actually work out really well. Kaido, I'm interested to see how this Kaido does, especially against the new Shanks. This one, he's too bullyable. When he goes in his booze mode, he doesn't have a dodge, and not having a dodge is just too easy to abuse and run away from and just hit him from afar. So it doesn't work too well. But if you get the surprise and can jump on someone, like on Drum Island or something, and you hit him with your club, so if you use skill 2 and then skill 1, you can actually smack people super hard, and it's kind of nutty. So just watch out for that, and it can work out really well. Let's see. Red Katakuri. Sorry, I had to think of which category this was. Red Katakuri does large amounts of damage. Very squishy, though. Will die quickly, but he can actually kind of hit pretty hard. So I imagine he would actually be fairly decent against Shanks because he can hit so hard. He doesn't have the anti-stagger. Like, he does have the anti-stagger, just can keep dodging. He gets his dodge back after getting hit twice. So he potentially could one-shot the Shanks. He could give the Shanks a run for his money. But the problem is he will get one shot as well. So watch out for that. He does a lot of damage, but is very squishy and easy to deal with. Green Katakuri was one of the best defenders for his time. Kind of fell off. I never thought I'd actually rate this like this. Honestly, I'm actually going to move these both down here. Putting them up here just seems a little bit too high for them. So they're both kind of just like A tier. They're like middle of pack-ish, like a 5 out of 10 if you were to describe them currently in the meta. So yeah, a little bit. Now, Kawamatsu, terrible unit. I wish he was better. He's just step up, don't play. Kaya, please for the love of God, don't play. Blue Attacker Captain Kid was a Bounty Fest. Really cool and fascinating kit. Cool model, but terrible unit. Just don't use him. He's good for support, though. Really good for support. Green Bounty Fest Kid can be a little more useful. You can sometimes like get surprised and kind of one-shot people, but in general, terrible unit. I wouldn't play these. I wouldn't play B or C tier like ever, but they're decent. They're pretty good for support. Like this Buggy, it's a fantastic support, so don't rule out leveling them up. I want to make sure I emphasize that. Kiku's actually can do some stuff, do some damage, so keep that in mind. Actually, yeah, I want to make sure I rank this right. So Kiku, probably better than these units. She does do damage in the last minute. She can be pretty useful. In general, I'll put her here. That's pretty solid. If you want to fight for her anywhere in A tier, I'm not too picky. It's up to you. It's up to you. Killer, walking elf since day one. Would not recommend. Don't do it. Kinemon, actually, if he had heals, he would be so much better. He's actually extremely fast. Defender. Am I going to place him above these defenders, though? No. I'll place him right around these three. He probably sticks with these three. These three probably seems okay. There's just things like Incinerate. There's people who do fat damage like Roger. And he can do good damage, Kinemon, but in general, he doesn't have the sustain to hold it. So that's kind of a garbage part for him. Kuma, I actually love Kuma so much. Well, I don't want to Cortazon him to be above. I have to rank these three above Cortazon for sure. These three have to be up here because they're better than those units right there. Bartholomew Kuma, I would put above these units. He has heals. What sucks is his abilities are actually, his cast times are so long, so most of his skills he actually just can't get off, and so that's what hurts him. If he had faster instantaneous skills, he would be insane and so much better because he heals on knockback too, and he can be a monster. Kiji, this is Aokiji, the Admiral one, very old unit. I'll put it here. Probably just don't play it. I just wouldn't play it. I would put it down here. I'll put it in just not playable. Kyoshiro. Actually, Kyoshiro can be very obnoxious, actually. I'll throw him here. He doesn't do too much in terms of fighting, but he does do terms because he shows up as the enemy. He shows up as the enemy team for, like, as an ally for your enemy team when he's above 50% HP. So he can kind of fool the people, the enemy team, if they're on one of those maps where you can't see everyone, like Nighttime Wano. He actually can be kind of a monster on, so be weary of that. Dressrosa Law kind of can do some things. I'd put him in here. I don't know. He's not crazy. I'd put him actually below here. Probably right here. Dressrosa Law, his counter, he can do some damage on his counter, but in general, not crazy. He can't really fight that well for himself, but he can run and take flags. Runners always have an advantage. Green Law, I'm gonna kind of put that in unplayable. He's so squishy. You'll be, if you have a meta character fighting him, you will not have trouble fighting him. This Red Law was terrible. Don't play that ever. Green Lucci, very good for boss battle. So if you still want to level that up for boss battle, he's good for getting those combos because you can get that 1000 and above combo. So would recommend leveling up for boss battle, but in general, don't play him in league battle. Time skip Straw Hat, skip that garbage. This is whatever other Luffy. This is like Grand Line Luffy. I don't know what they call him. Terrible. Alabasta Luffy. Terrible. Don't play it. Bounty Fest Luffy. This is like Bounce Man. Put it like he's like the same level as this. Honestly, the more I look at this, the more I could put Ace up here. Yeah, I'll put this Ace up here. Yeah, Bounce Man. He could one-shot before. I don't think he can one-shot that many people anymore. Free Paramount Luffy. You'll probably get this. I think everyone just gets this Luffy. Don't use that. Nightmare Luffy. Pretty good support. I'm just going to put that at the bottom. In general, we're not playing League Battle, but they're good support, so would level up for sure. Snake Man. This is Snake Man. Red Snake Man. Probably put it up here. Generally not that good. I don't know. He's like same as Bounce Man. Probably better than Bounce Man. Better than Corazon. I'm just going to move Corazon down here. I don't think he should actually be up there. It seems too high up for him. So I'll move Corazon down. Yeah, Snake Man. I don't know. Snake Man can be obnoxious, but he's not that obnoxious as, I don't know, some of these other people. I know some of you maybe this name may be confusing for some people, but you'd be surprised at how annoying that could be. Trust me. This Luffy, very good for support. In general, not really playable. I wouldn't recommend playing it in whatchamacallit. Do I want to put him up here? No, I'll just put him in unplayable. Whatever. He's not that great. He's a 3-star. He was a special event 3-star. He's just good for support. Luffy Taro. Some people thought Luffy Taro was great. I never thought he was that great. I'm just going to put him here. He was good against defenders because he ignores defense. And he does increase damage or something to defenders. It takes reduced damage from defenders or something. One of the two. He was kind of known as the defender killer. But in general, never thought he was that big of a threat, even if I was a defender. You did have to watch out for some things. But he was alright. Luffy was very obnoxious. Oh, where'd he go? There we go. Luffy was here. I wonder how he'll do against Shanks. Probably won't do anything too crazy against Shanks. He can hurt. He has like 80% damage increase on the flag. with the medals and stuff, and so he can be kind of nutty. I'll actually place him down here. Yeah, he's about right there. He's about right there. Max Jellins was a monster for his time, is not anymore. We'll throw here. Magellan could honestly easily solo like every person in this. So Magellan was pretty good. Sadly, there's people like Yamato and the people that he literally can't do damage to. He's a very beautiful unit in terms of skills and abilities, the way they look, but in general, would not recommend using him. Red Marco would put above. No, not that. Red Marco can be annoying on flyer maps. Like if you're on Fishman Island, he can fly across the map. But honestly, just use Green Marco at this point. There's Wano Marco, Green Marco. He has the glasses on. I'll show you him. We'll get to him in a second. But in general, pretty solid unit. He does have a revive as well. He has him heal for himself and can heal allies with the skill 1, but has to fly to them and be in range of them. So just watch out for that. But in general, I would use the other Marco. Why use this one? You can use the better version. Red Mihawk, not playable. Green Mihawk, I'm actually very impressed. Can actually put some work in. He actually does some good amount of damage. I would put, actually, yeah, him next to Whitebeard seems perfect. I think you'll actually be able to do a good amount of damage to Shanks, which will be kind of insane, while Shanks is not invincible. So that part will be actually really good, really nice. So he actually does a lot of damage for being a defender. You just want full attack, full defense, and then you want to have a good metal set on him. I recommend watching Swarley's video. Swarley has a good... Check out Swarley, OPBR, Mihawk. Just YouTube that, and you'll find him. He actually has a really good metal set built for him. Gecko Morty at Bounty Fest, not great. Put him down here. You might get a couple wins. Too many people are immune to status effect, which he relies on, so... well, he could be up here. I'd say he's better than Luffy Taro, if anything, to be honest. Luffy Taro, actually... We might put these up here. They're a little bit better. Don't focus too much. They're basically all... You could consider these all almost equal. They all are special in their own right. I may have Kaido a little bit too high. Actually, we'll reduce Kaido. Reduce Kaido a lot, yeah. Okay, that seems better. That's good. That's good. And then we have Bounty Fest. Gecko Moria, basically not playable. Don't play that. Would not recommend playing that. Time Skip Nami, would not recommend playing that. That one's not good. Bikini Nami, basically not playable anymore. Don't play her. It's just Cola Nami. I know, wow, that's a lot of not playables. I just would not recommend playing that. Onami, she's a little bit more playable. You might get a couple wins here and there, but in general, she's not that great. So wouldn't recommend like trying to focus and get too many wins with that. Odin, still pretty significant and pretty monstrous. So you do have Odin kind of doing things for you. I got a puppy in my lap trying to jump off my lap right now. Odin Nitoryu, actually pretty solid. He's always just going to be disgusting. I'll throw him up here for now, because he's still going to be obnoxious, and he can just go Grand Line for Shanks and stuff too, so he's probably still going to be kind of a monster. Green Perona, kind of unplayable right now. Blue Perona does a little bit more, so she can kind of go right there. And then... yeah, I mean, it's the immunity to status effects. Actually, we'll throw Blue Perona up here. Yeah, Blue Perona can kind of go right here. This will actually work. This will actually work. So she can be fine right here. Rebecca, just a free to play for fun unit. She's, yeah, just for fun. Don't play. Reiju, I'll throw her up here because she's kind of playable a little bit in B tier. You may get a couple wins, but in general, not that good. Time Skip Robin, basically unplayable. Miss Sunday, I actually love Miss Sunday as a unit. This is actually what the old hackers used to play. Kind of unplayable. Snow Robin, I don't know. You may be able to actually pick up a couple wins. No. You're just kind of trolling with that and stuff, so would not recommend. Roger, I'm still going to throw Roger up here because I think he's actually going to be kind of one of the better options for killing Shanks in general. So I would probably... I might move him. I might move Roger. So hold on. We'll see where Roger ends up at the end. Ryuma, free to play. Don't max him. I actually don't even know if people can max him anymore, to be honest. Blue Sabo, kind of terrible unit, can go invincible. You may get a couple wins on him. In general, I don't think very winnable. Red Sabo, much better unit after the buffs. I'll throw him. He's actually pretty strong. He's probably right next to Bullet in terms of strength, so you could definitely get by with using him. All right, Green Event Sabo, they actually just buffed him. I'll throw him here. He's still probably going to be kind of weaker. These champions are probably going to be weaker. Like, if you run into anyone above here, these kids are probably going to beat your cheeks here. generally, in most circumstances. You may be able to outplay them, you may be able to do better, but or if one of these might counter one of these specifically up here, but in general, these are probably like the lesser strong characters, but kind of playable. So you have Sabo. Time skip Sanji is fine. Wedding Sanji, probably put up here. He's kind of more up here in this area. He came out around the time of Luffy. I think the Katakuris are probably a little better than him, so I'd throw them there. Whole Cake Island Sanji, honestly, please don't play that. You're basically just a support, but in general, don't play that. Sengoku's actually pretty decent. I'll put him at the top up here with the katas and stuff. Can be kind of playable, can kind of do some things, but in general, you're just kind of a big target for most people, and you're not that threatening. Free Red Defender Shanks. This was the OG Shanks. You'll probably get him for free. I don't think every free unit they just hand out for free. I think they were free at the time that they released them. But not, if you are brand new or just starting the game, I don't think you'll be able to just come across all the free ones. So Shanks, don't play that one. Blue, this is Blue EX Shanks. Keep in mind, Blue EX Shanks. Oh god, no. Blue EX Shanks is like here. I'll throw him right next to Big Mom just to be fair, just to make y'all little fanboys happy. But in general, Blue EX Shanks, not very good at all. Would not recommend playing that. Don't touch that, please. Don't touch that, please. Smoker. You may be able to pick up something. He's like kind of here. This is Murray or not Punk Hazard Smoker. God, trying to think of all my arcs. Punk Hazard Smoker. You kind of have one-shot ability and it stuns, so would not recommend against Roger or Shanks. Tashigi, Smoshigi. I don't know. Again, she just might be here, kind of just this area. She's like whatever. Special Stampede Smoker. They did just buff him. I'll actually put him up here. He can kind of do some things. Again, I don't think he's as good as this, but he's better now, but still not great, in my opinion. Smoker, don't play that one. Soga King, probably here. You can get some kills and stuff with him. Yeah, well, you could potentially get some kills. He used to be the one-shot master for his time, but now he's just kind of like, he's like a little bit whatever. We have a lot more units to go through. We have free-to-play Tashigi. Would not recommend playing with her anymore. Urouge is basically unplayable now. He's not going to be defending. He was a monster for his time, not anymore. Time skip Straw Hat, would not recommend playing. VV, don't play that. Please don't play these VVs. Waffle, please don't play that. That's god awful. X Drake, you may be able to get a kill or two in general. Don't play that though. Would not recommend playing. Yasop, that is a terrible. Is a green attacker, green runner Yasop. That's the OG Yasop. Yeah, don't touch that. Time skip, don't play that. This Zoro, don't play that. Dressrosa Zoro, you may be able to get a kill or two in general, but he's actually pretty bad. Don't play this. Would not recommend playing that. So, yeah, don't play that Zoro in general. He's not very good. Some people can still fight for him and swear he's like a monster and stuff. Like, if I'm this Jinbei, I honestly feel like I could actually destroy him potentially. If I'm on his flag, maybe. That I don't. If I don't have heals, that's actually the trouble with that. But, well, who knows? I'll throw Zoro up here just to make you fanboys happy. They were these two actually have a pretty even match fight, so I'll put those. That's actually a pretty good spot. This Zoro, don't play anymore. Zoro Juro, don't play that anymore. This Boa Hancock was terrible when she came out, still terrible. Kaku, pretty fast. Can actually get some like do running things right next to Sanji. They're just kind of like rats. They'll just run and they're good for running and taking flags. That's about it. When no one's paying attention to you. Rob Lucci. I would probably put... He's still super squishy. That's his problem. He's actually pretty easy to one-shot now. He used to be obnoxious because of his anti-stagger, but since so many other people have anti-stagger, like, permanently, he just doesn't stand a chance. So, that's... I'll put him at A tier, so that's kind of where he lands on there. Green Rayleigh? Oh, I actually love this Rayleigh a lot. He can kind of smack certain people around. He actually sits up here. Probably right next to Rob Lucci. These two were kind of rivals at their time. But if Rayleigh perfect dodges, he could destroy Lucci. I'd say those two are pretty equivalent in units. Gaimon. Gaimon's kind of trolling. You kind of can defend because you go invincible with your counter. But in general, you might just get one shot right after you're done being invincible at this point in time with how the game works. So watch out for that. Koala. Not very good. You may be able to pick up a win or two. I'll put her in B. Ooh, this Usopp might be much more important now that Shanks is a thing. I'm going to place him a little bit higher because I do believe he's going to be one of your go-tos for trying to kill the brand new EX Shanks because he does do increased damage to green units. So, watch out for that. I think he'll be actually pretty viable. You just kind of need to be able to keep your distance, and you do have running and stuff, so just keep your distance. The problem, you got to remember that you can't stun Shanks either. Luckily, it doesn't give him a defense buff or anything. It only gives Roger a defense buff, I believe. Maybe it does actually give a buff. If I remember Shanks' traits correctly off the top of my head. But in general, I think his damage towards Shanks is going to be kind of important, and his revive, so he'll be kind of obnoxious for Shanks at some points. Stanky Frank, probably going to get demolished by... He actually was pretty much a monster. He can be very obnoxious with all the status effects, so he's actually pretty good at some points. I think he's about there. I don't know if actually... These two came out together as a Bounty Fest, so they're actually pretty equivalent, to be honest. Carrot, honestly, you might be able to pick up a win. I'll throw a B tier. Throw a B tier. Monster Chopper. Ooh, this one will be interesting. He's just not as good as he once was. I'll throw him down here. Yeah, he's about right here. I don't know. These are all pretty equivalent units, I'd say. Monster Chopper, not nearly as good as he was. He used to be the best 1v1er in the game. Now he's not so much. Inarashi, I'll put him A tier because he was good for giving your other unit an attack buff. That's all he's good for in general, because he can give his teammate an attack buff when you respawn as the other unit. This Kaku, wait, why am I moving Kaku? I already have Kaku. Didn't I already place Kaku? I already placed Kaku up here, right? So I have 2 Kakus? Yeah. Why? They had that mislabel. Okay, so y'all didn't correct me. So that's the 4-star. He's a 4-star. This is a mislabel. So that's a mistake. We don't want that Kaku. Bounty Fest, Onigashima Luffy. Not so great anymore. Probably same as Luffy. A little A tier. I just leave it there. He could shred with the percent HP, but in general, that percent HP isn't going or doing anything crazy anymore. So he's just not as good as he once was. Nekomamuchi. Red Runner, I'll put him right next to Inarashi. He kind of just deserves to be. They're pretty much the same. Nekomamushi kind of just plays in the latter half of the game with his damage reduction, but honestly, that's not going to protect you anymore, so he's a little bit worse. I would actually say Inarashi's a little bit better than Nekomamushi, sadly. Bounty Fest Robin, I'm interested to see how she performs exactly against Shanks. Shanks does have knockbacks. I think Shanks will still destroy her with the reducing of the max HP. God, this Shanks will actually be able to wither her down. That's so obnoxious. And you have other people like Odin. She's probably still pretty solid. Would I say she's better than these two? She's up here. She's up here. I think she can play. She's just a very boring unit, in my opinion. If you're a Robin fan, I say go for it. That's your best version of Robin. Bonchan, you may be able to pick up a couple wins, so I'll throw him there, but not really. The Red Captain Kid, I think, is going to be very important. I think this is one of your go-to units for trying to deal with the current meta. Yeah, I think this is one of your go-to units. Just watch out for that EX Luffy because it's obnoxious. So this is kind of going to be... You can be annoying if you're super tanky and stuff. So if you build yourself right with your metal sets and your damage reduction, you can be obnoxious. Just watch out for Shanks. Onigashima Law, I think, will also be very important in the meta. I'm going to kind of throw him up here. He's a little bit farther down, in my opinion, but I think he can also be kind of a monster. So, can actually do a lot of things. So, in general... Onigashima Law, pretty solid unit. Mr. 3, you may be able to pick up a couple wins. You can actually defend pretty well. I think he'll actually be pretty obnoxious against Shanks. You're not going to be... offensively, you're not that good, but defensively, you're actually pretty solid, and you can do some things. So you can actually get some stuff done in terms of defending. Akainu is obnoxious because of your Incinerate. You just make sure you hide in your walls and make sure you have that good metal set. I do have an excellent metal set. Watch my Mr. 3 guide video if you're looking to play Mr. 3. He's actually pretty solid for being a step-up unit. Golden Week. Being invincible, I think, is going to be pretty important. She was actually a monstrosity. Too bad so many people are invincible to status effects. She's so much weaker than she used to be. She used to be like God tier and like the best. But in general... I'll probably still put her here because she can still actually be very obnoxious. Just so many people don't play her as much anymore. She isn't. Some people might not just find her that fun to play, just the way she does play. But I actually really like her. I loved her so much. I feel like I started the revolution of the Golden Week because she was actually a god. But yeah, I'll leave her here. She is blue, so dealing with the new Shanks might be obnoxious, especially with the status effect. You might actually be fine with the status effect because you can use your invincibility so you can prolong and waste him from prolonging his red effect. But it'll probably just be backup, honestly. Oh, Robbie. God, I actually hate this unit. She actually takes flags in like 0.02 seconds. Even if you're not fighting, she just takes flags extremely fast. So I'll throw her like up here. She can be obnoxious. She serves one purpose, and it's just to run. Just keep that noted. You're not fighting. Pell was actually so good at one point in time. I'm gonna say he's like just down here in A tier. Too many knockbacks. He can't use his skill 1 anymore. There's too many knockbacks. He'll get destroyed, especially with all the green meta coming back and he's blue. So don't play Pell. I love Pell, but I wish he was more playable. Viver kind of also significantly fell off. She was actually pretty solid at the start. Akainu came out and she became basically irrelevant. So unfortunately, that's how that worked. Bonkichi was basically, he's basically unplayable in my opinion. Well, you might be able to get some things done. Maybe get a couple wins. I'll throw him there. I'll throw him B tier. EX Akainu, think will be kind of still important. He did fall off with the Luffy, but I think he's going to be coming back a little bit, so I'm going to throw him at the top. Classic, you'll notice the EXs will be more towards the top. Just throwing that out there. Kobe, also just kind of a rat. I'll throw him in A tier. You can kind of get some stuff done, but in general, not going to be fighting. You're not fighting, you're just running and taking flags. Sentomaru, defender. I think he's actually pretty good. He might actually be decent against Shanks. The problem is you're going to get withered down. Actually, he can't. No. Shanks will destroy him. The other EXs eventually kind of bully Sentomaru, but again, I don't know. He was better. Came out with Akainu. Akainu destroyed Sentomaru anyway, but yeah, just kind of like alright unit. Baber 5. Green Defender, really fun unit to play on certain maps like Dressrosa. I'll just throw her B. No, I'll throw her A tier. She's not that great, but you can maybe be able to pick up a few wins and stuff. I'll show you all the final like outing of this. Let's zoom out a little bit so y'all can see a little more what's going on here. So of the units, oh my god, wow, there's actually so many characters in the game. Senior Pink, probably bottom of A tier. These two, yeah, they're about the same spot. He just can run. He's not very good at fighting. It's whatever. Sugar. Actually, pretty solid unit, can defend. Probably right around here. She can actually be super tanky. Her status effect can be obnoxious. She may actually be decent against Shanks. Decent, not going to be great. I don't know. You're kind of going to need to build attack so you can actually fight back on her. Is my problem, but then that makes you squishier. So that's where you run into issues. But overall, Sugar can do some things. She also has a revive. Blue Dolphy, I think, is going to be kind of important. He does have his wall. He's actually very obnoxious to deal with. Blue Dolphy probably up here. In the current meta, I don't know. I think the Shanks is going to demolish him. So since we're entering a green meta, I'll lower him here. I think Dolphy's still going to be kind of useful just because he can hide behind his wall. Bonkichi might actually be a super important unit. He actually, if you can build him tanky, I might actually put him up here. Very underestimated unit. Can remove attack buffs, which is going to be super important. When he removes attack buffs, he heals. And since everyone basically gets attack buffs, he's going to be healing. So once you get him level 100, get like fat tankiness, you might actually go full defense, full attack, and then see if you can just reduce their attacks. And then once you reduce their attack with your Soul King ability, they basically won't do any damage to you when you have high defense. So it works out well with that kit. Harpy Monet. Oh, they just ruined her kit. She could be so much better. I'll put her in A tier. She's, yeah, same as Mr. 3. She's just not good offensively. They just ruined her kit in the damage reduction that she works. So they put the damage reduction on her standing on her wall. But if you're standing on your wall, you'll basically be hiding behind your wall, not taking damage. So there's really no point in having damage reduction when you're on your wall. Nami, I think, is going to come a little more important. She can kind of tank the Shanks. Still struggles a little bit with the Shanks if he hits the damage reduction ignoring move. But in general, I think she can be pretty solid. She'll be better than Stanky Frank because, I don't know, she's super good against attackers is her whole goal. So, in general, I think can be very useful. So, very, very much a thing. Pudding, kind of just for fun unit to use. I'd say she sits around with these three. Onigashima Luffy probably above that. Yeah. Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's better. Pudding, pretty fun. She has Tremor. She has her film effect or whatever, which removes their ability skill cooldown, so that's kind of nice. Virgo, you might get a win. Terrible unit. Terrible unit. Izo is going to be much weaker now. I don't know. He's still pretty good. He's still pretty solid. He's actually was a monster. He was one-shotting people. He's actually pretty good against Akainu. But in general, probably a good SS unit. Like, you'll pretty get a good amount of wins with him. But kind of tricky unit to use, not going to lie. Kanjiro, probably bottom of A tier. He's like alright. He's just a runner pretty much. Not doing much other than that. Rayleigh. I almost called him Shanks. Jesus. Rayleigh. Basically the new version of Shanks that I'm pretty sure most of you are all excited for. New version of Shanks. I'll put him up here. He probably fits right around this pack. New version of Shanks is going to demolish him though. So watch out for that. Just blues are going to be struggling a little bit. Yamato. Still very obnoxious runner. I don't know how to keep Rayleigh up there. I think because Rayleigh is blue, I'm going to lower that. But in general, Yamato might actually be pretty important. Yamato can at least smack Shanks a little bit, but she still will get demolished by him. Jack might actually be a good go-to for trying to kill Shanks. This might be a good go-to. Obviously, it'll be like a one-shot or B one-shot, but Jack is actually a pretty good unit. I'm going to throw him up here. Kind of on par with these two right here. Green attacker, red attacker, blue attacker. I'd say these are three like equal tier units per se. Yeah. This Jinbei, surprisingly underestimated, but not that great. I'll throw him right here. Whole Kick Island Jinbei, red defender, not doing that much anymore, and it wasn't really doing that much on release. I don't know. Just to step up units, the Bandai was just messing them up entirely. Kaido. Oh, Kaido's going to be struggling against that Shanks, I'm not going to lie. So Kaido's going to fall a little bit. I think Captain Kid's going to be a little bit more important, but Kaido's still a very good unit if there's not any Shankses in the game. You might get some games where there's no Shankses, but in general, Shanks is going to flood the meta right now. So watch out for that. Probably Kaido's not going to be doing as well anymore. So normally he was up here. He was in the best kind of column. In general, I think the defenders are just going to get shafted. EX Luffy... still useful because I think you'll still be able to one-shot Shanks, or still like you'll at least be able to do damage to him. Shanks will probably one-shot you as well. Shanks will probably be one-shotting you. I'm not going to move him down because he demolishes literally every other unit in general. I haven't ordered these at all, so I don't take these for order as of right now. I'm not positive about the top SSS order, so they're... I mean, in general, I think it'd be more like this. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Odin's good for just taking flags and winning. I don't know. Odin's still very obnoxious. These two are just rats. They do different things. These two one-shot and these two just take flags and win games. So it's kind of like a half and half. Because sometimes you need one, sometimes you need the other. Oh, Queen Sama? Queen Sama I think is pretty decent. Pretty solid unit. I'd say goes up here with these two. He probably sits right here. Law might be a little bit more important, I think, when it comes to fighting Shanks. So I'm going to actually move Law up a little bit because he has increased damage to greens as well. So Law will be kind of vital. Keep that in mind. Burgess. Burgess, not so great of a unit anymore. I mean, well, he wasn't really on release, so he's just a step up. I'd say you'll just get some decent wins with him. Burgess probably A tier. Judge? I actually really underestimated Judge. There was actually a really good Judge that I played against. Pretty solid. Not going to be solid anymore because of Shanks. But in general, I would say kind of viable. Probably bottom of here seems fine. He can be obnoxious if you have the right build for him. There's a specific metal set that you'll need that gives you like the knockdowns and stuff. Once I get that together, I will be doing a video on that and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Oh, Sova Mask. I'll probably put up here. Can get actually, yeah, probably bottom down here. He can get some good wins because he is invisible, but in terms of fighting and combat, he can't really hold his own or do much for that. So just keep an eye out for that and realize that that's a thing. You're not a fighter. You're literally just to go invis and run around and take flags. And you may be able to get a last minute back cap. So keep an eye out for that for like the last second. Vista. Oh, Vista's going to get one shot, but Vista was actually a pretty solid unit. I'll put Vista up top of here. He's pretty solid. You'll get some good wins on him. But he's not going to be a monstrosity because his like main damaging skill and main stacking skill is like whatever. Jozu. Oh, he's going to get the ignore damage reduction from Shanks. Jozu's actually pretty solid. Jozu's really good defender. But now I think Shanks is just going to demolish him. So, the reason I keep talking about Shanks is because he's going to be flooding the meta. You're going to be fighting 3 to 4 Shankses each and every game for the next couple months. So it's just going to be a thing. That's literally what you need to be comparing it to. And the Roger Luffy's. Shiryu has always been like an alright attacker. I'll throw him here. He's been like an alright attacker. He's good for killing runners. He's your anti-runner attacker. But when it comes to fighting anything else, he's like not very good. Franosuke can one-shot people, surprisingly. but pretty squishy and pretty easy to deal with outside of his one-shotting skills. Actually does pretty good damage. I'll leave him up here. I'll leave him in SS. Pretty solid, like, kind of playable. Usohachi? No one plays him. I think actually undervalued unit, but I think, like, still pretty annoying, like, defender because he puts his little trampoline there. So I think can do things, but and people just don't really realize that he can do things. Actually, I'll move him down here. I think he's, like, right here with this area. He's not very good in terms of fighting and actually defending. He just kind of puts his trampoline to put it in the way and be obnoxious. Wiper. Actually pretty solid for a 3-star unit. I'll put him in A tier. You'll get some wins. In general, yeah, Wiper probably goes here. You can be obnoxious. You can actually do a good amount of damage, but you just don't have the traits. If they gave him the traits and just made him a regular 4-star, he'd actually be so much better. It'd be insane. Page 1. I'd say good SS unit. Maybe undervalued. Actually, SS plus. Maybe one of your go-tos for fighting Shanks, kind of. Not really, actually. You're not going to have the damage to fight him. Unless you're building damage, you might actually be able to do some things. But in general, I think he's going to be struggling with... because Shanks just ignores damage reduction, so that's a problem. So the more so, this defense stackers are going to be better against Shanks currently. And how that's running. Ulti... probably going to be a little bit useful still for fighting Shanks. Ulti up here, probably still equal. She's actually excellent unit for fighting other attackers. I love it. It's actually beautiful. Wano Marco, very important. Very good runner. I think honestly up here, he's actually, yeah, he's top of the tier. He's probably, yeah, he's actually an insanely good runner, especially with all the, because he can't be knocked back. He can only be status effect off a flag, so knockbacks don't do anything to him. So honestly, fantastic runner. Not a fighter, just a runner, but you can actually run and take like flags. You can basically take whatever flag you want, so make sure you get a little bit tanky when you're building him out. Prospero, fantastic unit. Probably SS plus because he got nerfed and stuff, but in general, a lot of people kind of demolish him. He was kind of up here. He's a green attacker. There's better options for green attackers. He's probably SS plus. I'll put him here. I'll put him here because he can kind of demolish people. Now, obviously, these are all very equally close and stuff. I think the reason Captain Kidd isn't, like, obviously Prospero can fight Captain Kidd and kill him easily, even though he's green and he's red. But the thing is, Captain Kidd is going to be useful kind of for fighting other people that are going to be in the majority of the meta. Boa Hancock, very undervalued unit. I think fantastic. I'll put her on the lower end of this. Probably a little bit higher than these units. She can go up here by Rayleigh. Very fantastic unit. Actually really good at doing stuff. Really good at surviving. Can just actually very obnoxious to deal with sometimes. And with her Petrify. If you can be Petrified. If you're fighting someone who can't be status affected, then she's very easy to deal with. Shiki was kind of a little bit lesser impressive. Very good with his flat damage. Honestly, actually, I think Shiki will be stronger. I think Shiki's going to become very important for... in terms of using, you can destroy your EX Roger. Like, he takes 70% of Shanks' HP. Shanks will heal back 30% of it, or 20% of that. But, or no, 30%. If you do more than 20% of HP, you'll heal back 30. Yeah, something like that. Whatever. So you'll do 40% of Shanks' HP with your skill 1. So actually, Shaky's actually going to kind of become a little bit more important in the upcoming meta that we're going to be dealing with. So keep an eye out for that. Shiki will be important. Let's see. Ooh, Tesoro is going to be a little bit struggling. Tesoro, I'm going to be honest, is going to be kind of pretty undervalued unit. I think actually solid, like a good 50-50. Like, this is where I rank like a good solid middle ground unit. And Tesoro's probably that. He's not extremely shining, but he's not a bad unit by any means. He's actually very viable and very playable. So Tesoro, especially with the green meta that we're about to enter, no. Zephyr, excellent unit. I would put him up here. Problem being is he's going to be nerfed and going to be kind of down here because he's a defender. Defenders, it's about to leave a defender meta because none of the defenders are going to be able to do anything. This free Luffy, I'd say, is just playable. He's just kind of right here. He's actually, he is the newest 3-star. If he was just a 4-star, he'd be so much better. If you have the right metal set, you can make him work. Uta? Oh, Uta's actually going to be up here. Uta, honestly, is like right up here, actually, with the EXs I put. Actually, yes, right here. Perfect. Excellent. Uta is actually going to be so strong because I think she's one of the go-to units for fighting Shanks because you have your shield and stuff, so it's a go-to. Beckman, I heard Beckman's actually kind of doo-doo a little bit. This is what I've heard. This is not my personal opinion from how he's been performing in the meta. The ones that I have fought have not been very impressive at all from what I've seen. If he can land a status effect on you, it's pretty good, but so far it's not like they've been one-shotting me or doing like fat damage to me. So I still have to see one actually like one-shot me, but the ones that I have fought have been below average, but I know he can be good in his given kit. So Beckman I'm going to put right here in a pretty strong unit. He is blue defender. Again, we're leaving the defender meta, so honestly it wasn't really a defender meta ever, but defenders are becoming less and less viable as we speak. This disgusting rank 1 unit in the entire game. If you're looking to just climb or just win for free without having to use your brain, you can literally play with your toes. You could literally not even look and just start pressing buttons and probably could still win. So that's your go-to with this unit. He's actually killable. Like, he's not as impossible to deal with on paper, but he can easily destroy and be obnoxious for a lot of people, and especially defenders. So watch out for him. He's going to be a menace. I think definitely the rank 1 character in the game, the most broken unit to exist. So that's my tier list for this upcoming. Oh my god, it's a big shout out to Alita. I meant to do that. Make sure I shout out to Alita for that. Very important. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure I'll leave the link to the tier list down below so y'all can see and check it out. I will make sure I print it out. I'll have it on my Twitter and stuff. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this is helpful for some of you newer players, so you can kind of see what's viable and what's not, and what to summon on. And yeah, so I hope you'll check out my Twitter, my Discord, and all of that down below. And my Twitch, I would appreciate if y'all follow and join those. If not, that's okay too. But I'm your Roman Puss, and I'm gonna be taking off. Yeah, holy! Peace, beautiful people.